Hey guys, if you're still wondering what is it that a data analyst actually does, I wanted to give you a little bit more detail and a demonstration of what you're actually going to be doing as a data analyst. Now, the overall purpose of a data analyst is, of course, to analyze data. So what that means is that you're accessing data in its raw form and you're manipulating it and putting it into a form that's easy to read, easy to understand, and easy for managers to use to make decisions about the business. Now, as far as what you're going to do day to day, there's basically three types of work that you're going to do. Three types of requests that you're going to get from management that you have to fulfill on. So the first is called ad hoc reports. What an ad hoc report is just a report that's a one-time thing. So, for example, they want to know a specific thing about a customer, like this customer made this order and it wasn't delivered, what happened? Right? So you go into the database and you figure out what happened for that customer. Or perhaps they want a list of the last 20 sales that were made. Something like that. Something that really they only want once because they need a specific bit of information right now. And so you get a lot of ad hoc reports. Now, the second category is recurring data pulls. Right? So these are going to be tables of data that you pull from a database that they're going to want to see over and over again. And so it's like an ad hoc report, except you create something that pulls it automatically that they can refresh whenever they want to, or you deliver it every week or every month or whatever they ask for, but that you can refresh easily. So that could be a quality control thing. Like, for example, how many give me a list of orders that are at least a week old but have not yet shipped out, right? If that's an issue. Or pull a list of every order with an order value over $10,000, something like that, right? It's going to be a table of data that they want, that they're going to want every week or every month or every quarter, something like that. So that's a recurring data pull. And I'm going to give you examples of all of these, by the way, in just a minute. And number 3 is visualizations or dashboards, right? So these are going to be charts and graphs that they want to see constantly. So it could be sales per month, or it could be sales per store, or it could be all of your revenue or all of your expenses rather per month. They're just about anything that they want to see over and over again, and generally they want to see on a graph. And if you put a bunch of graphs together, then it's called a dashboard. That's going to be the third category, the visualizations or dashboards. So now let me give you some examples of these so you actually can see what it looks like to create these things. So this is the big practice project for the Data Analyst in 8 Weeks program. I'm going to show you just a little bit of it. We won't go into all of it because it's pretty big, but I'm going to show you just a couple of examples so you get an idea of what it actually means to do this. So this is a real-world data analysis project that lets you get a taste for exactly the kind of work that you're going to be doing once you get hired as a data analyst. So let's read just the scenario first so you understand where it's coming from. So you're working as a data analyst for a small chain of bicycle stores called Acme Bikes Incorporated with 3 store locations. Since it's a small company, you report directly to the company's CEO, Jimbo Jones. Like most managers, Mr. Jones is very intent on making decisions for his company based on hard data. That's why he hired you to dive into the data to give him the information he needs to make good decisions for the company. The company uses a prepackaged front-end database software that automatically saves and updates the store's data into a back-end SQL Server database. This is the Bike Stores database from the Week 1 action items. Your job is to access this data to answer Jimbo's questions in the most meaningful, helpful way. So that's the scenario. There's a bunch more detail here, but we'll just go straight to the questions, and I'll show you how to do some of this. So question number 1, this is the CEO is coming to you and saying, our customer, Kaylee English, said that she put in an order on April 1st, 2018 but has not yet received her order. Does that database show that we shipped the order, and if so, when? Okay, so this is an ad hoc request, right? There's a problem with the customer's order. We have to figure out what the heck is going on. So we open this is SQL Server Management Studio, and if you join the program, I'll show you how to do all of this, by the way, so don't feel like you have to understand everything that I'm doing here. So the first thing I'm going to do is figure out where I can find her data. So I'll go into my databases. Bike stores is the right database, and then tables. This is where all the data is. So I have sales.customers. That's what I'm going to start with. So I'm going to write a query. Now a query this is SQL. This is TSQL. And I'm going to write a query which is a very simple computer program that pulls data that I want to see from the database. So I'm going to say select all from, and again, don't worry if you don't know what this is. If you join the program, I'm going to show you all of this in great detail. Select star means all from sales.customers. So let's take a look first of all at what the data is in this table. Okay, so I have first name and last name, and then I have a customer ID. So first thing is that I know that her name is Kaylee English, but I don't know her customer ID. So I want to find her customer ID before I do anything else. So let's say where last name equals English. I'll hit execute, and here she is. She's customer ID 23. So I'm going to just put that to make a note of it. And then what do I want to figure it out? Okay, so she made an order on April 1st, 2018. So I want to find that order. So the orders is probably going to be in sales.orders, right? So let's do select all from sales.orders. Take a look what's in that table. And see here I have order IDs and I have customer IDs. So let's say where customer ID equals 23. Take a look at that. Now she's got two different order IDs. The one from 2018 is the one that we're interested in. And so it says that it was ordered on 4/1, but it was never shipped. Right? And so this line is what I would provide to the manager. I would say, hey, she made this order on 4/1, but our system shows that it was never shipped. And this was from store number 2, staff number 7. And if I want, I can go look up what is store number 2. I can look up what is staff ID number 7. Right? So that's what I would report for the first one. So that's an example of an ad hoc request. Right? So let's try one of the other ones. Let's take number 3. Can you give me a list of all the orders that haven't been shipped yet for each store? So let's try this one. This is going to be a recurring list, like a recurring report, recurring data pool. That's what I called it. So I'm going to say orders that haven't been shipped yet. So we know that we have a required date and a shipped date. And if it hasn't been shipped, the shipped date will show null. Right? So let's do select all from sales.orders where shipped date equals or is null. Hit execute, and it got a whole bunch of these. Got how many lines is that? It's 170 lines, right? And so what I would do then is I would just copy and paste this with headers, put it into an Excel document, and then this is what I would give to the manager. And so there's, I could automate this further, right? Because I have, this is the query behind it. I could make it automated where in Excel, I could hit just a refresh button and it would refresh this every month or every time you want. But for now, just for the sake of this demonstration, we'll go with this and we'll say that this is the deliverable, right? If I want, I could get a little bit clearer on, I could put the customer names instead of customer ID. I could put the store names, I could put the staff names, etc. If I want to summarize it a little bit, I could put a pivot table, right? And I could put I want to organize it by the store ID, so I'd put that into columns, and then I do just count of order ID, or count of, let's do count of date. There we go. So, you know, it's not real pretty, but there we go. I got 64 from store 1, 74 from store 2, 32 from store 3. So that, you know, there's a whole bunch of ways that we could make this a little bit better, a little bit prettier. But that's an example of a recurring data pull. Now, let's go and try something else. Let's see if we can find a dashboard example. So this one's good. I'd like to see a report of each employee's total sales for the years 2017 and 2018. So this one's going to be a little bit more complicated, but let's give it a try. So let's take another look at, okay, we have actually, yeah, let's do this. Select all from sales.orders. And then here we're going to have to join it to another table. So let's say inner join sales dot staffs on staff. Let's say that A and B. On sales dot orders, or sorry, A dot staff ID equals B dot staff ID. And so let's do select A dot all, and then B dot actually B, just do all of it. Easy enough. Okay. Execute that, and so now we have here is all of the orders, all of the order information, and then here are the names of the staff members that are associated with the order. Right, so that's good, but we still need a little bit more. We still need the order dollar amount information. In fact, actually, that's going to get a little bit complicated. So I'm gonna modify this just in the interest of time, because I don't want this video to go super long. Instead of dollar value, I'm just going to do number of orders. Right. So in order to do that, I can just copy all of this and stick it in an Excel spreadsheet. And then I'm going to do a pivot table, right? So let's insert pivot table. Now, pivot table is just Excel's way of summarizing information easily. So we want to do by, and we've got to do one more thing first, actually. Since it's first name and last name, I want to combine those. So I'm going to put a new column here and say equals this and space and this, right? So now I have this new column, drag it down, that combines the first name and the last name. And so I'm going to change my data source because I changed the columns. And then go back over here, and my face is kind of blocking it, so let me put it like this. That'll work a little better. Okay, now you can see it. So what do I want for my pivot table? I want to see the full name. Where did that go? Maybe I have to refresh it first. Yeah, I had to refresh it. Okay, so let's do full name, right? So there are all of the staff members, and I want a count of order ID. So this shows a sum. I want it to be a count. And there we go. So now we have all of the order IDs, and now we want to see by year, right? So let's make that by order date. And then I can group this by year. Right, okay. And so they wanted just 2017 and 2018, right? So I can get rid of 2016. So here I have only 2017 and 2018. And then I could turn this into a chart of some sort. So let's make it a pivot chart and a clustered column. That sounds good. Let's just go with that one. There we go. And so here we have a nice, pretty view. And, you know, we could make it a little more pretty, but we have a pretty intuitive view of what's going on with all of these salesmen. And then the manager can go through this and say, hey, Marceline Boyer, you sold a lot less this year than you did last year. What's going on here? Or how come Marceline Boyer sold so much more than Layla Terrell did, right? And so it's really easy to make these inferences based on this data and for the manager to make decisions based on this data. So I don't expect that you followed all of this. I mean, if you did, then props to you. But this is what it's like to be a data analyst, right? This is exactly what you're going to be doing day to day as a data analyst. So obviously it's going to take some time, it's going to take some effort to learn these skills in order to be able to do this kind of thing. But if this kind of thing is something that you could see yourself doing, if you would enjoy this, then being a data analyst would be a great career path for you. So if that's the case and you would like to become a data analyst, I can show you how to do it in as little time and with as little effort as possible. That's the whole purpose behind my Data Analyst in 8 Weeks coaching program. So if that is of interest to you, I'd be happy to talk to you about the program. There should be a link in this video description where you can click on that link, apply for the program, and pick a time to speak to us. We like to interview everybody personally to get an idea of whether or not you are a fit for the program and whether or not the program would be a fit for you. Basically, we want to know based on your desires, based on your skill set, based on the things that you have been able to do, can we be confident that we will make you successful, right? We want to be 100% confident that if you do this program, you will be successful in getting a job as a data analyst and starting a great career, right? Because if we can't be confident that you'll be successful, then it makes no sense for us to work together. And so we're not looking for you to be a genius. We're not looking for you to have all of these skills. Really what we're looking for is an aptitude and a desire. We want to know that this is something that you would enjoy doing. This is something that you're going to be able to put in the time and effort to be successful. And then most importantly, we want to make sure that this is something that fits with your career goals, right? Because this is not for everybody. If you want to be a people manager, you want to be an artist, you want to be outside working with your hands, that kind of thing, then obviously this isn't going to be a fit. So we want to just make sure that it's going to be a great fit. And if it's a great fit on both sides, then we'll give you more details about the program and give you an invitation to join at that time. So if that sounds good to you, then go ahead and click the link, apply, and choose a time to talk to us, and we will look forward to seeing you soon.